Just see ya. That's a lie.
Hello there, wrestling fans, and welcome to another episode of the internationally known Dudes At Ringside Podcast. I am Joe Panther III, and man, oh man, oh man, Ringside crew, you are in for a treat. I have a gentleman that is absolutely paranormally breaking down the of independent wrestling. Introduce yourself to my internationally known audience.
Yeah, hey guys, this is Furio. I'm known as the Kung Fu Vampire, also as the Dragon Superstar, based on this beverage here. I've been wrestling for coming up to 15 years, so it's been a long time. Wrestled all over the UK, wrestled a lot of the best talent. So very, very privileged to have done that. And I'm just, I don't hold myself too highly. I'm a journeyman wrestler. But with things like this, I'm always sort of not reluctant to do them. I'm still kind of a big believer in like kayfabe, keeping, the wrestling. The wrestling sort of, I suppose, dream alive, really, making people believe that we are who we are and this, that, and the other. But you never know when your cards mark, do you? So, like, if I get the opportunity to do, something like this, where, like I'm, very privileged and very grateful to you for reaching out to me to do this. But like, if anyone's interested to hear a story of a worker that's still sort of holding on to onto the reins and just trying to do the best I can and enjoying the ride, man. So like, bring it on. Whatever you want to ask, bring it on, and
man,
we'll see what happens.
I've seen you in my crowd a few times watching the other episodes. So when did it all start for you within wrestling? Was it a match you saw, or was it a person you saw that made you want to join the group the promotion that changed you? Like what got you started in this business?
I mean, my first sort of exposure to wrestling, I suppose, was just seeing Hulk Hogan. I don't know whether it was necessarily like a TV show or not, but just seeing Hulk Hogan on TV doing something like an advert or a promo or something, and this is when I was like, very young, like 3-4 years old, and just seeing that and like, who the hell is this guy? He's so abnormal, he's so like out of this world. And then sort of like finding out that he's a wrestler, and then just seeing other guys like the Road Warriors and Macho Man Randy Savage, Ric Flair, and people like that, and it's like, right, this is crazy. And then that's just sort of like where it all started for me, really. And then sort of as I grew up and was exposed to different kind of like promotions and whatnot, WCW, ECW, and abroad, like going to look at like Japanese wrestling and Mexican wrestling and things like that. And it's just sort of like, wow, this is like a whole different kind of world, really. There's like big muscular guys, there's like abnormal characters, there's women that can fight, there's like high flyers and people like that, there's guys that carry themselves as like sportsmen, technical wrestlers. So it was like really sort of the whole package, really, for me, that sort of hooked me, really. And it was all stuff from Hulk Hogan, I suppose.
Wow. So who exactly trained you?
Well, I got my start. I got sort of first introduced to sort of like, there's a lot of schools around now, but when I first sort of was looking to get into it, there weren't that many around, but there was one quite local to me. It's called the Pitbull Powerhouse, which is run at the time by the UK Pitbulls, Big Dave and Bulk. Very famous for doing the Deadpool Wolverine movie as the Blob. So really, they got me started, and very old school guys as well. Sort of like they make you work hard. And again, like guys that have been around for like I think by now it must be over 30 years. Seen everyone or worked everyone, done everything. Even nearly managed to work the Road Warriors, funnily enough. Which, if you ever get them on your podcast, I'm sure they'll be happy to tell you about that. Okay. But I don't think I really like back then. I can't remember what year it was. It was like early mid 2000s. I don't think I really had like the discipline then to sort of pursue it. So I took a break from it and focused on my martial arts. I'm big into my martial arts as well. And then when I got my black belt in Taekwondo, literally a school opened just about 5-10 miles down the road from me, and I'm like, well, I've got to try it now. And that's Fallen Star Wrestling, which is run by a guy called Jimmy Star. Again, like a sort of journeyman wrestler. He's been around and wrestled all kinds of people and whatnot. And he just opened up the school, and I joined. And to be honest, I haven't looked back since.
So, what made you pick? What made you like? I know everybody has a mission with their their persona. Was when it came to your persona, like, is it something that you saw in a movie, like something that came at it came out of you like the alien that you knew that was there all along?
I mean, I've always been drawn to the characters of wrestling anyway, like I said, Hulk Hogan and whatnot. And I was in my teenage years, I was a big fan of the Brood, like Gangrel, Edge, and Christian. And the Great Muta as well. He's always been a massive influence on myself. But it was always the look, really. Like, that's just sort of like striking look. And I like a lot of like stories and whatnot. I like, vampire stories, like mythology and things like that. Something abnormal where you just sort of like read it and you think, well, it's not real, but fuck it, it's pretty much, like, it's something to think about. And I thought, well, if I can take that to wrestling, then it'll be something, because you see a lot of like guys that just come out in tights and boots and whatnot, and it's and that's fine. Do you know what I mean? Like, because it takes a certain level of confidence to do something outlandish, but I've always wanted to sort of like have that sort of presence. Obviously, sort of like learn to wrestle and know your way around the ring, but I thought, if I can think of something that's, whether people like me or hate me, they'll remember me in whatever position I was on the show, then, that's fine. And it's, and I'm quite a sort of like shy and, anxiety ridden person anyway. So like, it helps me to have a character to sort of like, so I take myself out of it and put myself into that character. And then whatever my character does out there, that's on them, really. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you completely, man. It's like there's so many different ways that people they come out of their cocoon with their character. Like, who do you remember who your first match was?
Yes. Well, I say that. I mean, I would. My first like proper match was a tag match, and luckily enough, it was against my two trainers, Jimmy Star, who I mentioned earlier, and Dark Wolf Matt Walters, who's an absolutely fantastic worker, like so underrated. And I was tagged with another guy who was coming through the school, and it was just sort of like a simple, let's get you in the ring in front of a crowd kind of thing. It wasn't too complicated. It wasn't too like heavy on us. It was just so we could go in the ring and just feel what it's like to be involved in a match. So yeah, I mean, like your first kind of matches are sort of like that, sort of like tag matches where you're on with someone more experienced, so you can literally learn the ropes. And yeah, that was probably my first match. I was in a few like rumbles and things before that, but like in terms of like actual proper wrestling match, that was the one.
I just remember like there's so many wrestlers that I've spoken to throughout the 5 years of this podcast, and I asked their first match like that question I just asked you, It's always a common thing that the promoter always puts the wrestlers in a rumble. I kind of think that's fine and that's cool. You know, it's giving them exposure, but it's like you're in there for like less than 9 seconds.
I think the design of it though is to sort of, like, as I said, it's to get you used to being in front of an audience, because like that's one of the hardest things. That's like something you can't really teach. You know, you can learn how to do the moves and you can do the spots and whatnot, but like putting pen to paper and then going through the curtain and like going into the ring where everybody's eyes are on you, you know, whether it's like 10 people, 20 people, 100 people, it can be quite stressful. So like in a rumble, it's sort of like a little bit sort of, it's a bit like learning to ride a bike with stabilizers on, because there's so many people in there with you. It's sort of like the pressure's not solely on you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Completely. I understand. Yeah. Like everybody doesn't get used to being on a bike at once. Sometimes they fall and hit their knees. No. Yeah, completely. So before we were live, we're talking about some crazy stuff that's happened to you on the road to leading up to a show. Like, you have any fun, like crazy stories, like outside the ring when you were going to a show or after a show?
Yeah, let me think. I mean, there's sort of like, I mean, it's like I like to think when you sort of like when you get involved in the business and you sort of like get familiar with everyone, you know, it becomes less of a working relationship and more of a sort of like a friendship and sort of like bond. And like certainly a lot of the guys that I work with in the local area, you know, we're well connected. Like we have a very strong bond, so we like to go out and indulge ourselves a little bit. And there's always like stories where, so like I taught you interviewed the Sound, didn't you? George Rashwood and Bobby Adams. You know, great friends of mine. They're part of Falling Star Wrestling as well. I've known them for years. But Higgs, George Rashwood, he loves to tell this story, and he'll tell it to every single person that he makes eye contact with, about where I was arranging. We were going out in a city called Lincoln in the UK, and it was up to me to book the accommodation, which we done through. Well, it wasn't through Airbnb. It was like this second-rate company, the sort of Temu of Airbnb. And I found like a place to stay. Like we had like about 8 to 10 people in our group, and it could house all of us, and it was fine. It was perfect. Only to find that on the day where you have to message them to get the key code to get in the door, I was getting radio silence, and I was like, "This isn't right." You know, I could just feel it. And me and a couple of the lads we had to do 2 shows before that. And, you know, so obviously the added stress of like working on a show and trying to find if you have like a place for the night at the end of it. You know, it was quite intense. And apparently by the time I got through the customer service, I found out that it was double booked. So like there'd been a party that booked it as well, and they favored that party. And all I remember is I cut a blistering promo on customer service where Higgs, Rashwood, found it extremely funny. So funny, in fact, that he had to retreat to a bar to drown his sorrows for a bit. But I got my own back on him because well, in 2 ways. Because one, he was in a match with me. It was me, him, and a guy and a lad called Jack Landers. Again, really great worker against. It was sort of like a 6-man tag, and me and Jack made Higgs take every single bump in that match, absolutely every single one. And we just sat on the apron just laughing. And at the end of the night afterwards, we went out to the bars and whatnot. And I wish I had the photo. I should have brought a photo of me, but honest to God, I've got a photo of Rashwood absolutely dying, absolutely wrecked the day before. And it's beautiful. I have actually got it framed in my house.
Oh gosh.
But yeah, I mean, that's like, I mean, it's always like little, with things like that. There's little, I mean, I'm one of these guys that encourages ribbing and practical jokes, because I think it's like, as long as it's not too bad or too offensive, no one's property gets damaged or nobody really gets, seriously kind of offended by anything. I think it's great, because I think it just brings people out of their shells and whatnot. But I've seen people, there's little subtle things, like people putting Pro Plus in guys' drinks before they have to have a match. Pro Plus is like a sort of caffeine tablet that you have, but I've seen guys put 6 tablets in one drink, and then someone's got to go into the ring, and they don't stop moving. They don't even stop moving to sell, let alone anything else. Do you know what I mean? And
or gives their stomach a bubble so they have to poop before their match, and they're like,
I mean, there's so many stories I could tell that I probably shouldn't, just to sort of
get in trouble.
just so I can sort of save face for some of my fellow colleagues, let's say. Except for Rashwood, I'll happily throw him under the bus any day of the week.
Oh my gosh, I have another really fun question for you. When you're on the road, do you prefer to pack a lunchbox, or do you like to eat out in the local cuisine? Because I know a lot of your shows end at 11 o'clock, because that's what happens here in the States. 11 o'clock is the cutoff of the shows, and then you're off to find food, in the wildlife.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's a bit of both. I mean, I'm quite big on meal prepping anyway, because I like to sort of know what I'm eating. Do you know what I mean? I'm big into sort of my macros and whatnot, and counting calories and things like that. So I'll always have some sort of meal in a Tupperware box. But sometimes, honestly, at the end of a show or whatnot, it's just sometimes easier to go to McDonald's. Do you know what I mean? Just just sort of spend your wage, what you earn from the show. Just I'll just get food with this, and so it's a bit of both, really. Certainly, if it's long drives, you're always going to go to a McDonald's.
Yeah,
or a KFC or a Subway or whatever's open, really.
I went to a KFC Friday with my friend, and I've gone there billions of times. I got the chicken nuggets, and I guess they're changing the way they do their stuff now at KFC. That you could order at the counter, or if you want to be a lazy ass, you go to the computer screen on the side. And I was I'm such a 80s/90s kid. I'm this old man next to me, do we order here? I'm I don't know.
It's all changed now, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? I'm probably from the same sort of period as you, where everything now is computerized. I mean, I can't, I see sort of a lot of the younger lads, they're sort of doing stuff on their phone, and it's what are you doing? And they're I'm just ordering food. And it's why can't you just talk to someone, to order your food? And it's it's just easier.
Yeah,
and 9 times out of 10, they always get served before me, so it obviously works. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you completely, man. I hate, because at the KFC by me, they don't even have people you're gonna get pissed. There's no counter anymore. There's just a counter to pick up your order. You have to order on the computer. I'm I got real money. I don't like using my credit card out in public like that.
It's weird now, because hard cash now is so rare that whenever you pay someone with actual proper money, they get really freaked out.
Yeah, it's what is this? Oh no! Even at wrestling shows, I'm glad wrestlers haven't started saying I only take Venmo.
Yeah,
I'm so glad they haven't done. Well, they do have that. I've seen wrestlers at the show with the tape.
Workers love hard cash. If anyone could if anyone could buy merch with hard cash, then that's ideal for us, because
that's your gas station money. That's your
gas station money, or McDonald's money, or it's just so handy, but I mean, the world changes, doesn't it? And there's not a lot we can really do about it, unfortunately, but it's cash is king.
Yeah, completely. That's your Big Mac. That's your Big Mac and fries right there. If Joe
that's my dragon soup.
That's your drink money. That's your drink money at the end of the show. If Joe comes in and buys a t-shirt, a sticker, and a hat. You're like, thanks, Joe. Got a case of my drinks now. Thanks for the truck.
100%. Absolutely.
Thanks, Joe. And I'm just like, shit. Like, how much money you got left, Joe? Well, shit. Like, just gave you all my money. Hey, thanks, Joe. It's like a
but it all goes to a good cause. It goes to a good beverage, and like a happy smile at the end of the day for a worker.
A pointy vampire smile at the end of the show.
Exactly. Exactly.
A vampire smile, and I'm like, thank God it wasn't my neck. Thank you.
And if you can make a vampire smile, then you're onto a good thing, pal.
You thought I was a vampire. I'm just a panther. I'm like, I'm just like, why is he awkwardly smiling at me? Oh, pointy teeth. Got it. Okay, got it. But I do eat. Panthers do bite people, but they eat trolls.
They eat trolls. That's good.
That's what I used to say when I used to have X. I say, whoever thinks you're going to talk smack to me, just remember Panthers eat trolls.
Well, man, you have to sort of. You got to protect yourself. I didn't know this was a thing until I was a wrestler. But like, once you start sort of like building a little bit of like momentum and like people are starting to become familiar with your work, you do get some people kind of message you, don't you? Like, and I guess it's sort of like it's what's the word? Curiosity, because they're sort of like obviously drawn to sort of like the wrestler, but then it's sort of like, I've had people message me, saying, "What, can we have a wrestling match?" And it's like, okay, like, are you for what promotion and work? And it's like, no, a private wrestling match. I'm like,
awkward.
Yeah, sure. For like about 10 grand, you can have a private wrestling match. Do you know what I mean?
Destroy you and make sure you don't get up. Like that.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, yeah, like if the money's right, sure, but
I will literally hit you into an impaler, and this impaler you will not get up from.
Exactly.
Have you actually had a chance to meet Gangrel yet?
No. And do you know what the sad thing is because he regularly tours the UK, and it's sort of like, I've been actually, no, I'll tell a lie. Like during lockdown, COVID, where everyone was just locked away for a good amount of time, there was sort of like a guy. I can tell you, it was that's Thin Bodie. He used to do that Kazani gimmick in WWE.
Yeah. Oh, I remember Kazani. Yeah.
Yeah, he done like this online sort of like Facebook group where sort of like everyone could just any wrestler could just sort of like get involved, and his and a few other pros. Al Snow was involved in that as well, and they'd just sort of like give you pointers and tips and whatnot, and just things to look out for. But by the time we're all in the clear and we can actually get back to wrestling, but there was like an introduction thing where everyone was sort of like posting who they are and whatnot, and I introduced myself and said, "Hi, my name's Furio, blah blah blah," and Gangrel said he liked the look and like the sort of like the gimmick and whatnot, in sort of like a message or something.
You did like the happy dance in the corner, like on.
I did actually, yeah, I did proper mark out because, as I said, like. Like I was a brood mark from my teenage years. So the fact that even Gangrel acknowledged my existence, I was like, brilliant. But he does come to the UK a lot. I think like he wrestles mainly for like a company called All Star, which has been in the UK for decades.
I think I know that.
Anyone who's anyone has wrestled for All Star. Like it's one of those kind of like promotions that started in the old school era, and like you would have had like your Regals, your Fit Finleys, and British Bulldogs and whatnot work for that promotion because back then it was sort of like the only place to go, really.
Yeah.
But he does a lot of work for them now. And I always think,
New York, he wrestled.
Yeah, I always think like if it was like a singles or a tag or anything, that'd just be cool. Do you know what I mean?
If you ever go to Florida, he owns a promotion there called CCW.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
I don't know if he
Yeah, if
owns
I
it
ever
or
did
he's
come to the
the owner.
States, I'll definitely get in touch.
It was crazy because he was at Awesome Championship Wrestling in Poughkeepsie, New York. Another good one you should look into. He
Okay.
was there. He was a surprise entry in the Rumble, and me and my buddy marked out. Like, I didn't know it was him. They kept blowing smoke, and they had this weird, creepy little orchestra band,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden they started doing that. I was like, "Oh my god, holy shit, it's Gangrel!" And then my brother's like, "No way, Gangrel, no way, don't play with me!" And then all of a sudden he came out when he was leaving because he had an autograph signing after the show in the corner. I said, "Hey,
Right.
Gangrel." He looked at me and like, "Hey," and then he kept walking. I didn't get a chance to stop him because they had security with them
Yeah.
walking to the front.
I
Before
mean,
we
anyone
go,
who's ever met him like face to face has always said he's a lovely guy. Like, I mean, Mike and Dave, the Pitbulls, who I mentioned earlier, have always said he's lovely. And I think that's sometimes what you find with like some guys when you meet them, like these, you know, like the big names kind of guys that you see on TV. Because wrestling is such a small world, like you never know who you're gonna be on a show with or bump into or work with. And 9 times out of 10, like they are generally all right. It's only like if they've had like a bad tour or something like that, where you know either the house hasn't been good or they haven't sold much merch, where they're a bit grumpy. But other than that, they're pretty like most people are pretty chill. To be fair,
I don't know. I don't know. It's just weird. It's just like most people will make the show like really good and they'll be really cool. And then there's other people that'll just be like, I can't talk. I can't actually take a picture with you because I have a represented. Like one girl that was at the show, I asked her how much is the picture. She's like, I can't. You have to buy the thing out front. And I was like,
I mean that's all like. I mean, I think some people do take it too seriously.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I suppose it really depends on sort of like where you are. Like, I mean, obviously, if you're like signed contract or you're on TV, you know, maybe you can be a bit like. But if you're just sort of like general, like I said, like a journeyman wrestler, just making your way through the indies, like you know, making towns and whatnot. You know, there's no real need to be so sort of serious. Well, like obviously take it seriously in the sense of like put on a good show, make sure your opponent's safe and things like that. But like, there's no sense to sort of like be so protective or so defensive because at the end of the day, like people have spent their hard-earned money to come watch you in a ring for like, you know, 10, 15, 20 minutes or however long you're out there for.
Yeah.
And money's tight at the moment. So like, you know, if you can like afford to give them like a selfie or something after the show, that's fine. Like, I mean, you know, I'm being quite open now, you know, with, you know, as I said, like I do believe in keeping some sort of presence with kayfabe and whatnot.
Yeah.
But, you know, as I said, like I don't know, you know, no one knows when their ticket's up. So like if I get the opportunity to do something like this, then I will do. But, you know, I'll always give a fan like, you know, 5 minutes of my time to sign a picture or take a selfie or whatnot. And
and
you know,
I don't want to bug him.
It shouldn't be.
He was walking. They were walking fast, but they were like at a certain speed. And Nick Nemeth was right behind him, and I saw, "Hey Nemeth, how you doing?" I put my hand on his shoulder. "Hey, how you doing?" He looked at me, and then he was like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" And like he did that kind of thing. I guess he saw the red glasses, and I think he remembered me from last time he was at the show.
That's cool. But
he didn't like stop. He didn't get a chance to take a picture of me because he was walking. I didn't want to bug him. I don't feel odd being that person now in the podcast world, but I get nervous because some people, if they don't know me, they'll be like, "Who the fuck is this guy with red glasses walking around thinking he's important?" But before we go, if my fans want to follow you on social media or they want to buy anything, buy any merch, is there anywhere they could find you, and is there anywhere they could find merch?
I mean, yeah, yes, certainly. Like with like finding me personally, you can always find me on Instagram. It's at Furio Vampire. I'm on Facebook. Again, if you like, just put in Furio Vampire on that, you'll probably find me. And most of my merch I normally have linked on that kind of. I'm terrible with social media.
Same.
You know, I'm absolutely terrible. Like, I mean, and it's like my own fault, really. I'm just sort of like, you know, if ever there's like a cool picture taken, I'll post that or something like that. But like, that's all like an avenue I really need to sort of like learn and work with and whatnot, because it's such a big thing now in wrestling social media. But yeah, Facebook and Instagram, you can find me on that. I'll always post what shows I'm at, what I'm doing, who I'm on with, and things like that. So there's always something to look out for. But yeah, like totally, like find me on that. If you're ever in the area for a show, come check us out. And yeah, I don't bite. So like always approach.
No.
Actually, that's a lie. I do bite, but please bring me dragon soup, like, because then you won't get bitten.
Have you had before I go? Have you actually had fans bring you some of those drinks?
Yes, I have, and it's the best thing I've probably achieved in wrestling.
Wow. Now, if I ever come to the UK, I gotta be on the mission.
You got to be on the mission. You got to be like, see, it's like the one sure thing to get in my good books. If you bring me dragon soup, then we're cool for life.
If my buddy and I ever take a trip, me and Beans will be like, Valor, we got to stop at the gas station if they got them in the UK. We got to.
Do you have them in the States, Dragon? I know you have Four Loco, but do you have dragon soup?
I gotta look it up. I don't think we do. I think that's your version of Four Locos.
I think it's a Scottish beverage, and the Scots like to drink. If you've ever,
yeah, I know.
If you've ever like introduced
wrestlers on podcasts, they drink and they curse. It's like.
Yeah, I think I've done a quite good job about cursing. But then that's just sort of like a wrestler's habit. It's like sailor talk. We all curse and whatnot, but
the girls are the ones that panic. They go, "I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to curse." And I'm just like, "Did you watch my episode with the Queen of the Death Match yet?" Like every other word.
Is it Mickey Knuckles?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Like, I mean, a good I think do you know Big Effin' Joe?
I have not had him on yet. I want to work with Big Effin' Joe.
He's a lovely bloke. He's a lovely, like, I mean,
talk to him. Tell him to DM me. I want to have him on. I heard he's
yeah,
awesome.
absolutely. I mean, there's loads of people I can tell you to interview that will give you funny stories, but like certainly Big Effin' Joe is like a good one to get on the podcast, because he's been like, I think he's actually worked Mickey Knuckles as well. Like, I'm sure he worked her in the UK at some point.
Oh yeah, probably.
But he's always got like loads of funny stories and whatnot. And getting like the UK Pitbulls as well. Like they've got stories of 30 years of doing everything, in and out of the ring.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you so much for doing the podcast with me.
No, thank you, man.
Appreciate it. I am Joe Panther the Third.
Oh yeah, I'm Furio, and buy me dragon soup.
Yeah, dragon soup. And we're fanging and banging, and we will catch you in the next one.